The world is veiled in darkness. The wind stops, the sea is wild, and the earth begins to rot. The people wait, their only hope a prophecy. When the world is in darkness, 4 warriors will come. After a long journey, 4 young warriors arrive, each holding an orb. That's right, it's the original Final Fantasy, the 1990 US version. Yeah, this is the 100th subscriber special video. It's something I hope will be enjoyable. I'm going to be playing through the first opening bit of Final Fantasy 1, and I'm going to do so as my subscribers. So I have randomly picked out 4 subscribers using dice, and I'm also going to roll what their jobs are. So let's actually roll their jobs right now. So alright, so we have a 6, a 3, a 1, and a 6. So let's start with the fighter here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes him a fighter. That's fine with me. And the first person is Pizza Pasta, subscriber number 95. Now, since we only have 4 letters, I'm gonna have to shorten everybody's name. So Pizza Pasta, I'm going to take the last syllable in the first name, and the first syllable in the first name, and make them Zappa. Pizza Pasta, by the way, if you don't know, is a character from the arcade version of Punch-Out, an Italian. Next up was a 3. 1, 2, 3. A white mage. That's always good to have. This is subscriber number 84, Diego Moreno. So I'm going to shorten that to just Reno, the last part, which is also the name of another Final Fantasy character. But you know, that works. And now we have a 1, making it a red mage. Oh, good. And this person is Pope Richard Corey, who I know on Twitter. Naturally, Pope. There's no other option, really. And finally, it's a 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, well, yeah, back to Red Mage. And this is Marshall Henderson, my old co-host, old podcast co-host, as well as friend. And I used to play Final Fantasy 14 with him, and his character today was called Conrad Oragil. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, but we're going to name this character after Conrad, his Final Fantasy 14 character. So we're going to call him C-Rad. There we go, C-Rad. So it's Zappa, Reno, Pope, and C-Rad. And here we are, Final Fantasy 1. Now, of course, the first thing you need to do is go into the castle. Well, you don't need to do this. The only times you need to do this is in the remakes you need to do this, because then they force you to do it. We're going to do it anyway. We need to talk to the king and find out why we are here. Hello, king. Light warriors, just as in Lucan's prophecy. Garland has kidnapped the princess. Please help her. And that's the plot. So let's kill Garland. So yeah, I first played this game in 2000 something, 2001 maybe. Obviously, it wasn't released in Europe. We first got Final Fantasy 1 in 2003 when Origins came out here. Let's see, what do we have again? Alright, we want a cure spell first of all, which I believe you can buy up here. Yep, you can. Let's see, Reno is the white mage. Right, Reno will learn Cure. That's the only white spell we need. I would like a black spell as well for Pope and C-Rad. Lit is Thunder. So let's give that to Pope. Yes, that's good. And then let's give Conrad Fire. The reason Thunder is lit is because 4 letters. so lightning became lit. It's dumb, but that's how it works. We also want a sword for our fighter. A rapier should be good enough, I think. I think they can use a rapier. I admit I have not played Final Fantasy 1, the NES version, in over a decade, so might be off here. It's almost 30 years old now. 1987 was the release in Japan. There we go. Well, let's equip our stuff. Weapon. Equip. Armor. Equip. And yeah, let's hope this is good enough for a start. We're gonna have to grind some XP first, because this game is not at all balanced. Let's talk to the dancer. I am Marilyn, the dancer. But she doesn't dance because this is not Final Fantasy IV. Alright. So, let's go into the forest and fight hopefully some imps, which of course would later be known as goblins in Final Fantasy. Monsters strike first, well that sucks. I was ranting about Final Fantasy 1 on Twitter the other day. Final Fantasy 1 is a game that I very much consider a bad game. But in a very special way. Because it's not a bad game, it's not a bad game I dislike. Oh wait, sorry, that was wrong. I should have used my magic. The problem I have with the game is that the game was fine in 1987 or 1990. It was fine. Compared to the games around its era, it's a very fine game. It's fun, it's good, and all of its problems are really just problems that every RPG of its era had. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that, but I sort of had a hiccup. The problem with Final Fantasy 1 is that there are a bunch of people who haven't played Final Fantasy games, and we just haven't played a lot of JRPGs, but they want to get into them because their friends are into them, or whatever the reason might be. And these people don't have a good starting point because, they want to play the first game first, even though there's no specific story. They still want to play the first game first because it makes sense, right? And they will always ask me well, which version of Final Fantasy 1 is the best? There's so many versions, and I can never really answer that because none of them are really that good. Because this game plays like a 30-year-old game, which is fine, because it's a 30-year-old game. But if you get Final Fantasy 1 on PSP, probably the best version. You could argue the GBA version, but that still plays like a 30-year-old game. And that's not cool, that's not acceptable, because there are so many just major problems with the game that they haven't fixed. And probably never will fix. I've begged for a why did I go into the status screen? Oh yeah, I was going to check if you could increase the speed on the text, but I guess you can't. I've begged Square to just release an updated, proper remake of Final Fantasy 1. I mean, I know a lot of people are afraid of one because they didn't like Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 4's remakes, which is fine. But here's the thing: my favorite Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy 3 for Famicom. I actually played it today. It's my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time, and I think it's better than the DS version, obviously. But here's the thing: with that said, I would never recommend a new player to play the Famicom version, because it's unfair, it's just really, really badly structured in a lot of ways, just like Final Fantasy 1 is. And the remake fixes that. And more importantly, the remake doesn't erase our game. Because, okay, Final Fantasy 3, you can argue, well, there was never an English release, and now we only have this release we don't like. Yeah, okay, fine. But in Final Fantasy 1's case, if they were to do a complete just retooling of the game and fix it, you would still have Final Fantasy 1 on NES, on MSX, on WonderSwan, on PlayStation 1, on Game Boy Advance, on Java phones, on Symbian, on Android, on iOS, on PSP, on 3DS, on the Virtual Console. You get my point? Like, it's such a pointless thing to have a problem with, because they will all... Final Fantasy 1, the version people like, for some reason, will always exist, and won't ever go away. And that version is only good for old fans. Like, I can play Final Fantasy 1 and enjoy it. I'm enjoying it right now. But a new player won't. They won't enjoy it. Maybe if they have played a bunch of other NES RPGs, then yeah, maybe. But otherwise, no. Not a good starting point. And there needs to be a good starting point. And you would think when a series turns 30 years old, they would try and make a good entry point with the first game, but... well, there's 2 years left, I suppose, to see if they do, but... so far it's not going too well, and I'm not getting that much XP. Or gold, which is a bit annoying, because I kind of want armor for my pals. If you never played Final Fantasy 1, apart from being infuriatingly unfair, it also just takes a long time to grind XP, because of course it's from the era of RPGs like Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest, on the other hand, used grinding as a means to keep the player interested while traversing the world. Because Dragon Quest had a very centered world. It was basically a loop around the final destination, and it was always pretty clear where you could go and where you couldn't go. This game, on the other hand, this game will lock you into areas until you complete them, but the directions will be very, very confusing. The game will never really lead you where to go, and the grinding, since the game isn't as puzzle-based as Dragon Quest was, the grinding is becomes more and more tedious. Not to mention that in this game, if you die, you die. Like, that's it. Whereas in Dragon Quest, if you are grinding and you die, the king will revive you. Or like in Ultima 4, if you die, Lord British will revive you. But Final Fantasy wanted to be more badass than that. They wanted to be the Dark Souls of 87. So they... no. In Final Fantasy, you die. You die in Final Fantasy, you die for real. Which sucks. But, I mean, it's also a standard these days, so you could argue it's fine, but as someone who did grow up on Ultima and stuff like that, and actually played those games before Final Fantasy, it always felt a bit weird to me. Anyway, I was talking about entry points, and entry points. And this game it's not a good one. There's also the fact that it's just unbalanced as hell. I know I said that already, but like the final boss, which you won't be seeing in this playthrough, Chaos HP is 20,000 HP, which is fine. He does a lot of damage, and you do a lot of damage to him. But he also has a healing spell. His healing spell does 999 healing. Wait, did I say that right? No, 9,991. Basically half his health. By 1 HP. 1 HP away from half his health. Because the limit goes there. And he can get stuck in a loop. Oh, I have nothing, okay. He can get stuck in a loop where all he does is heal himself. In fact, I was stuck in that loop. I was stuck in that loop on a bus trip that took 5.5 hours. Wasn't fun, but I killed him eventually. I think it was on my 30th try or something on that particular session on the bus, and I was pretty high leveled. Like, I've been playing through this game quite a few number of times. I played Final Fantasy with like stupid teams like, oh, let's do all black mages and stuff like that, or all black belts. People like doing all black belts because that's really broken and really stupidly hard, but I kind of like doing mages more because the int stat doesn't really work properly in the first 4 versions of Final Fantasy. Wow, I still haven't leveled up once. 15 points to level up, well... Wow. I forget exactly what the problem with int stat in Final Fantasy 1 is, but basically any character that uses the int stat, which is any mage, basically, will be horribly unbalanced because of a issue in how it's coded, and this remained for Final Fantasy 1's original release, the one we're playing right now, the 1 and 2 release in Japan, also on Famicom, the MSX version also had this, I think, and the Windows 1 version did. Actually, wait. I think the PlayStation 1 version also did. So yeah, 5 versions actually had that. It wasn't until the Game Boy Advance version that they fixed it. Because then they changed the entire magic system to be more like Final Fantasy 3. Which, if you ask me, was a good thing, because the magic system in this game kind of sucks. At the same time, it made this game less unique, and I don't know. This game is just a weird mess in a lot of ways. It's a very good, like, you can see it laying the foundations of what will become a great series. And like I said, for 487, it's majestic. And being able to play it as someone who did... I mean, I said I played it in the early 2000s because it wasn't out here. My first Final Fantasy game was... Oh, which was it? Because obviously I played them on emulators first. Actually, maybe I did play Final Fantasy 1 earlier than that. Because I know I played Final Fantasy game in the late 90s, but maybe I did play Final Fantasy 1 then. Either way, like, when I played Final Fantasy 1, even though it was far after its time, I was still used to... Did I level up? Nope. I was still used to the old style RPG games, because, like I said, I grew up on Ultima, I grew up on Dragon Quest, I grew up on Phantasy Star, I grew up on Dungeon Master, and so forth. Like, that was my jam, partially, among other games, of course. Reno is almost dead. Let's cure Reno. But I don't know, there's something, every time I replay this game now, and I think the last time I played it through to the end was 2 or 3 years ago, and that was basically, I was sitting there like going like, yeah, I finished it, and it didn't take that long because I know the game and stuff, but like, every time I cleared like any sort of major story point, I just looked at the game and went like, this is so dumb and so unfair to anyone who doesn't know the game. I think the best example is the airship, which they, to be fair, they did actually fix a little bit of. In the game you get a thing called the Levystone. I think it's called different things in every release probably, but it's called a Levystone in the PSP version. And I think the GBA version as well. It's basically the new versions. Then the Levystone will give you access to the airship. And in order to get access to the airship, you need to find where it's hidden. And it's hidden in a desert. I think you can be told that it's hidden somewhere, and maybe they mention a desert, but that's all you can find out. At least only thing you can find out easily. There are a few deserts. The one it's hidden in, well, you've never been there. There's no clear access point, and it's like on the, it's like a complete mess to get to, and I didn't even notice that it existed for a very long part of the game, even though I knew sort of where to go. I was like, I know I'm supposed to go to a desert, but I can't find it. And in this game, when you have the Levystone, you need to not only find the desert spot, but you need to find it, and then use the item in the right spot. And the new versions, they automatically just let you use the item, which, yeah, that makes it easier, but doesn't really change how terrible the entire design around it is. And I don't know, there's just so much weirdly wrong about this game. I should have probably gone to the end, because I think Reno might die, and that will cost me a bunch of money to resurrect him. Which kinda sucks. But oh well. When we're level 2, I think we can actually take Garland on level 2, but I'm not certain. Like I said, I haven't played this in years. We kind of want... We do want... I'm going to teach... I want to afford more spells for Pope and Searad. Because... oh no, I think Zappa's gonna hit air now. Yeah. I forget that this doesn't use the good system sometimes. But yeah, because right now they can only throw 2 spells, which is fine. I think will work against Garland, but Garland's minions might take us out then. I really hope we don't die. That would kind of suck. I mean, I am playing confession. I'm currently playing on an emulator because I can't record from the NES, and quite frankly, the only way I could record this game was if I bought it on the Virtual Console on Wii U right now, and I don't even have a Wii U. Otherwise, I was actually going to do that. I was going to like call my brother and ask to borrow his Wii U, and I can borrow his Wii U, but he couldn't get it to me until like next week. So I was like, well, fuck it, I'll just grab an emulator. It's fine. Yeah, now we're leveling up. That's good. Stir up, int up, vit up, and luck up. Yeah, no dot in the luck up. Oh my god, yes, we know. Let's go to the inn. Always really like the music in this game though. Like, I will never shit on the music in Final Fantasy 1. It was basically perfect from the get-go. We can afford 1 new spell, that's good. If I recall correctly, every time you go to the inn you save, so... I mean, I could probably read the message there and find out if it did or not, but I think that's how it works. Let's give Conrad the lit spell, because he has the fire spell right now, I think. And I want to have 2 lit spells, because Thunder, for some reason, is my favorite spell in this game, because, I don't know, I think it's only in my head, but I always imagine it being more powerful than the others. Luca left his town to join his colleagues at Crescent Lake. Please, save the princess! The princess, of course, is Princess Sarah, who has appeared in a lot of Final Fantasy games. She was in this, she was in Final Fantasy 3, and the next one is a spoiler, so I won't mention that one, because who knows, maybe someone's playing that game for the first time. And she's also in Final Fantasy, what's it called? Final Fantasy Dimensions, I think? It's for iOS and Android. And I just realized I haven't bought a sword for Pope and Searad, even though they're red mages. Oh my god, I'm dumb. And I should also buy a wand for Reno. I'll go back and do that after this fight. Yeah, here are Gr Imp, which I don't know what Gr stands for. But yeah, Grimp. They're stronger imps, basically. And imps, of course, are actually goblins these days. A very common recurring enemy in Final Fantasy games. Not been in every Final Fantasy, but almost. Actually, the enemy that's been in most Final Fantasy games, and I think I'm right here, when it comes to unique enemies, is the Behemoth. The Behemoth has been in every Final Fantasy game since Final Fantasy 2. And was actually going to be in Final Fantasy 1, but was never in for some reason. There's actually an official concept art by Yoshitaka Amano showing the Behemoth fight the Warriors of Light, which is pretty cool. So we want a wooden cane, and that's for Reno. And I think we can use the rapier for the red mages, right? I think we can. Otherwise I'm really wasting money here. Weapon. Yeah, we can. Oh. Good. We also want some armor. This game is pretty though, like it's really pretty for its days. I shit on the new versions a lot on how they look. Much like I shit on the new versions for everything they do. But like these this looks great for an NES game. I think all the main entry Final Fantasies looked great in their initial version. Not always their updated versions, but their initial versions always looked great in some way. There we go. Now we're actually strong. Now we can actually do stuff. So let's go see how the minions fare over here, and maybe we can go take on Garland already. I normally play with a black mage, so I'm not. I normally play 2 fighters, a black mage and a white mage. That's sort of my standard go-to team. So I will admit I'm not certain this will go well at all. I'm going to try and save my magic for Garland. And if this goes tits up, then I will run back and I will grind some more, and you will hear me talk about nonsense some more. Oh, that's much better. Much better. But yeah, actually, when I played through this the first time, I played it through with a friend, Joachim. Him and I were basically super into Final Fantasy 1. We loved that game. We loved all the old games. He fell off around 7. Because basically, even though like the games up to, well, almost all the games up to 10 were at that point, we tried to play as much of them in order as we could. But he didn't like it when they went 3D. So he stuck around with the old ones mainly. I don't think he's played any other ones after 6 for longer than like an hour maybe. Which is fine. That's his choice. I continued obviously, and I've played every numbered Final Fantasy. I mean, you can watch my playthrough of Final Fantasy 15 on this channel. The demo, of course. Since the full game isn't out yet. I'm also considering, because the free Final Fantasy 11 thing starts today. Like 10 days you can play Final Fantasy 11 without having a subscription, which I'm kind of interested in trying that out, because I have an old subscription, but I never had a chance to play with friends, which is a shame, because Final Fantasy 11 is really a friend-based game, if that makes sense. So like, you're supposed to play with others, and I'm thinking of just like trying to gather up a few people and like, hey, shall we play Final Fantasy 11? And I might stream that or record that. If I can't get the PC version to work, I'll just have to use the 360 version, which I own anyway. So, although I don't think I have all the expansions in the 360 version. I think I don't have. There was one expansion that was released in physical form in Europe. There's only one and it was. I want to say it was Wings of the Goddess, but I'm not certain. So I don't have the 360, so I might miss out on some content. I don't know. It's weird. Final Fantasy 11 is a weird, lovely little game, but weird because like you need to have different. If you play the console versions, you need to like buy every version because you can't. I mean, you need to do it for 14 as well. If you want to play Heaven's Sword on PS4, you need to buy it on PS4. If you want to play on PC, you have to buy it on PC. But like with 11, it's like only the ones with physical releases. Because I bought the original Final Fantasy 11 for 360, and it came with 3 expansion packs. That was fine. And then I bought the complete edition on PC, and it's on the same account. And I got all of them on 360 except the Wings of the Goddess one, the 4th one. That was released in physical form, and it's just so silly. Actually, I wonder what will happen with Final Fantasy now that Final Fantasy 11 now that the PS2 version will be closing down, the 360 version as well next spring. Only the PC version will last, which means that we might finally get some major patches to like actually update the game. We might finally get rid of Play Online, which would be the best thing to ever happen to that game. And of course the story will end as well. The final content patch will be released this fall. I think the first part of the expansion is coming out, well, I think it comes out today actually. Called Rhapsody of Vana'diel or something like that, I think. And I don't know, it's going to be weird to live in a world where Final Fantasy 11 is like technically done. Because it's been going for 13 years, it's been going strong. Like, I know Final Fantasy 14 has a major fan base. I mean, I'm one of them, but Final Fantasy 11 is impressive. Like, because you have games like Ultima Online, which is also still ongoing and still taking money and all that stuff. But like, Ultima Online sort of, I don't know. Do they even put out new content anymore? Maybe they do, but they don't, like, EA don't market it, EA don't really care about it, but Square cares so much about Final Fantasy XI still, in 2015, and that's really something. I mean, that's not something a lot of companies would do. I mean, I realize they only care because they make money off of it, but, like, still, that's still a game they've been supporting for 12 years. 13 years, even. Which I said before, I don't know why I said the wrong number now. So yeah, that's really cool, and I hope that their promised support for the new Dissidia ends up being just as long as they promised, because that sounds cool. I'm playing this at 3 AM in the middle of the night. I haven't eaten breakfast today. Yes, breakfast, which means no dinner either. Not because I was working on this, well, partially because I was working on this, but rather because I had so much to do today. I haven't had a chance to just sit down and relax, let alone make dinner, and I had nothing to just heat up, so I was like, fuck it. I'll just get this done with, and then I'll sort all that stuff out. And now it's 3 AM. So, yeah, that's good. I haven't done my gold pot and, cact pot today in Final Fantasy 14 either. So that kinda sucks. Okay! Garland's Castle. Oh, I love this music. So much. Okay, so like I said, we are playing on an emulator. If things go tits up, I can reverse time. Let's hope we don't have to. Let's try and play this late. I'm going to go... Wait, no, I don't think we can do anything over there yet. Let's just go straight in. Okay. Maybe it's Great Wolf. Maybe that's what it is. Or it's Grey Wolf. I don't know. Let's start by attacking the Grey Wolf. Okay. Oh, it's only doing 1 damage. Well, fuck that. This will go fine. Ba 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 da 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 na 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 da na da 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 na. I really love the music in this game. And I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh, well, it's Nobuo Uematsu, of course it's great, because I've been pretty critical of a lot of Uematsu soundtracks, actually. But Final Fantasy 1 is... It set the standard that unfortunately has not been held always, but a standard that was worth setting. Oh man, 100 subscribers! That's really cool. I'm actually really happy about that, because it means we're getting closer to both my old account, which I had around 200, I think, but also because, like, I really didn't think that me making a new account and putting stuff out would, like, bring views at all. I didn't think people would care that much, and now both my Patreon is actually, like, people are actually being, they're actually becoming patrons, and that's, like, I get teary-eyed whenever I think about it, and I should have killed the Great Wolf, but I didn't. And the videos, like, yeah, obviously not all of them are hits or anything, but, like, when I saw that both, like, the Silent Hill PT video and the Star Wars video and the Let's Play Honocar video, of all things, had over 100 views each. I think one of them, I think it was the Silent Hill one, is almost 200. I was like, really? Are you for real? Like, that's awesome. I did not think people actually cared that much about what I had to say about things, and... Ah, shit, I was slain. Well, back to the inn we go, I guess. I am not taking on Garland without a white mage. No fucking way. Ineffective, really? The Great Wolf is too strong, that's the, Hopefully we level up from this. It's the fact that they're in larger numbers and I keep missing. That's the issue, really. But the Great Wolf is a problem because, well, They're so strong, and I keep missing, so... Oh my fucking god, all of you missed! Thank you! Holy shit! How much XP? 79 XP. Status. Fuck it. Let's try. No one touches my princess. Light warriors, you impertinent fools. I, Garland, will knock you all down. Okay, Garland. Recurring villain, of course. A recurring character, to be precise. Oh, I don't think this will go well, but fuck it, let's try. Maybe we'll go fine. That's good damage. That's good damage. It might go fine. Maybe we will kill Garland after all. Oh, he misses! Oh my god, Garland, you suck. You're pathetic. Well, like, what? How much health do you have? Like, 200? 300? Yeah, I probably could have looked that up, but... Like, I would do that. 40 damage! Nice going, C-Rad! Dad. We killed Garland! Oh, right, leveling up. Sorry, Reno. Sorry you died. I was healing you when you died, but like I can't do much. You can only restore people at the church. You can't. There's no Phoenix Downs in this game. That first came in 2 or 3. I can't remember which. I think 2, but might have been 3. I know they're in 3 at least. So yeah, let's go deliver Princess Sarah to Corneria Castle. I don't remember if this version calls it Corneria or Cornelia. It doesn't really matter. It's the same thing. By the way, I think Corneria is the name Corneria is returning in the upcoming Mobius Final Fantasy. By the way, here she is. So you are the Light Warriors. Thank you. Thank you for saving the princess. To aid your quest, I ordered a bridge built to the continent. Go now and make the orbs shine again. This loot has been passed down from queen to princess for 2,000 years. Garland stole it when he kidnapped me. Please accept it as my gift. It just might come in handy. Now, get ready for your trip and make the orbs shine again. Let's go make the orbs shine again. I don't suppose I'm supposed to heal my party. Nope. All right. Well, we can't much leave Reno dead, can we? No, we can't do that. We're gonna have to revive Reno. No man, woman, child, or non-gender person, or non-binary person, I mean. Well, non-gender person as well, left behind. Yeah, 40 gold. Thank you, clinic. Warrior attendant life, you do not need my help now. And of course, that heart was a cross in the original game, because it was a church, and now it's just a clinic. Because Nintendo doesn't like religious symbolism, which people say they do now, but they kind of don't. For example, you can't have. I think you can't have the word God in your Miiverse like profile bio thing. But here we go, the final bit of this video, because this is where I'll be closing it off. Because this is one of my favorite moments in video games, and I know I shit on this game a lot. and it deserves to be shit on a lot, but it's a genuinely one amazing moment. So let's just take it all in. And so their journey begins. What awaits the four, they do not know. Each holding an orb that 2,000 years ago shined with beauty from within, but now only darkness. Come, start your journey. Return the light of peace to our world. Programmed by Nasir. Character design, Yoshitaka Amano. Scenario by Kenji Terada. Production of Square A-Team. Fool. Final Fantasy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. 100 subscribers, I'm so happy. And, well, here's to another 100, I suppose, and here's to more videos. Bye!